Found them. They were on the tailgate of the truck. Oh, it's heavy. Guess I need to grease the hinges. Battery might be bigger than stock. I'm going to try it with the mic up here because when it's down here, it keeps getting in the way and hitting stuff. Maybe up there it won't. I just got to get used to seeing that nonstop. Everybody, welcome back to the shop. My name is Zach, and here we are looking at my Dart. That's right, this is my Dart. I don't know what the long-term plans for this car is. I thought at first maybe I will do a full restoration and sell it. But this thing all hopped up like a badass car is maybe worth 17 grand, so it's not worth anything. Hence why I got it for free. But it's a good car, and it's solid. So what do you do with a car that's a good platform? It's solid through and through, minus a little bit of rust going on, and you can buy a bunch of parts for and do anything with. Well, letting it sit beside the shop is kind of an insulting thing for it in general, so I think it's about time we start working on it. First things first, I gotta make a dump run. That headliner is disgusting. I think we're gonna start there. We're gonna pull the headliner out, and then I got a little bit of a problem here. We'll show you that in a minute. But first, let's walk the car, check it out. I got this thing off my uncle, and well, it was free, minus some labor. So let's look around it real quick. All right, now a question you always want to ask yourself, especially when you're doing, well, let's face it, you should ask yourself this question no matter what, whether it be getting a brand new project car, taking on some clients' work, getting married, walking into a bar you've never seen before, asking a drag queen what makeup she uses. It should always cross your mind of, what in the world am I getting into? Well, this is what I'm getting into. I don't know how I ended up with this car outside of, well, one day a guy looked at me and said, hey, I got a car, you haul some cars away, you can have this one. And I said, sure, that sounds great to me, and now I have a Dart. So let's look at it. Now, I did paint the bonnet. That was me. I was having a painting issue, and I just sanded and sprayed some stuff on there just for the heck of it, just to test out my issue. Come to find out it was the paint itself, nothing else. So outside of that I've already done, this car is as it was given to me. We have a 1975 Dodge Dart with Pacer American wheels on it and tires from the 90s. And there's nothing spectacular about this car. I don't like the steering wheel much, but that's okay. We can put a different one on it. I don't like the dash much. That's okay. We can do something different with the dash. I like the tack, though. Interior in it's half decent. That headliner is not, though. Look at that thing. All sagging down and the rodent's been in it. I can't sit in this car very well because my head just rubs the headliner. You know, door seals. They're in existence. This thing used to actually have a vinyl top on it. Someone pulled it off and repainted the whole car. This is a factory Dodge color, and I think it was the factory color for the car. But they pulled it off, painted it. Excuse me, dear sir, you are very loud. Thank you. And of course, all the lead in here got some rust behind it and popped out. And I cleaned out all the lead, and then I just hit this with some, rust converting paint just to protect it and see where it's at. And the same thing on the other side. It still actually has the tabs for the vinyl cover in here. We'll have to weld those up because I'm not putting a vinyl top on this car. I mean, look at that fastback action right there. That's nice. Now the bumpers on this car give me a gentleman's hot rod feel. This isn't supposed to be something super snazzy, but this is something that a man of quality would at least consider owning. Don't mind the rust. We're just gonna ignore it. But the rest of the boot pan here looks pretty good, minus all the garbage that's in it. We'll take care of all that. Don't you worry. Ooh, free brake line junction. Heck yeah! Tape measure. Man, we got all kinds of goodies here. And a bumper jack. When was the last time you saw one of them? Especially in a barn find. Yeah, that doesn't stay. We'll fix that. Got the same rust over here on the other side. This is just what happens when you get moisture underneath the lead. That's what it do. Easy fix. We can see by looking under this car. Yeah, she a little crunchy in spots, but overall, she's not bad. Whole car is pretty much here. It's got drum brakes on the rear, discs on the front. It's got a great stance to it. Look at the stance. Sits nice. Might let down the torsion rods in the front just a hair. Well, I kind of can't because it's got long tube headers on it. And it's got a little bit of crinkle right there. Just might need to get behind it and do that again. We can work that out. Fenders come off, right. It's got the radio in it, updated. And a cracking dash. Well, cracking plastic in the dash. Who'd have think a thunk? About right. And also the window's got this hazing going on here. It's the layer between on the glass. Does that. Windshield washer, motor. Doesn't exist. That's okay. Dodge. Again, it's giving me a real big gentleman's look here. I kind of dig it. And crack our bonnet. You see all the glue on the undersides come off. So we might do something with that at some point. 318 4-barrel. 4-barrel. Barrel. It's all here. It's all together. I mean, I've had that battery for a while. The radiator doesn't leak. It's got nothing in it. Come on. There we go. Look at that. That's so dry the Sahara looks wet. But it's got the original block. It's got a 4-barrel intake on it. Of course, you see the chromified covers. We might do something with them, maybe not. It's had an alternator put on it in recent history. I know, because when I bought it, I found one in the back. It's got a ignition box, MSD. That's kind of what this thing is. Oh, it's got some long tube headers on it. It's not that impressive of a car, but it's got good bones, and you can do so much with this. I mean, this model of Mopar, I mean, you can go get most any parts for any of the era car of this, 70s, and they'll bolt right on here. And this is specifically a Dodge Dart Swinger. So the Dart was a thing for a little while. The Swinger was the big model in the 70s. We know they came back with a more disappointing model in the 2000s. We don't talk about that because they really shortened themselves on what could have been cool. And I don't really think there's much else to show you on this thing. I mean, honestly, I think that's the whole car. Well, it's got an aftermarket radio in it. An aftermarket radio. No speakers in the door. Kind of normal stuff. I mean, guys, I'm sorry to booger up the intro on this thing, but it's not that impressive. But I think that's the appeal. The appeal is that this is like an underrated vehicle, and you can get these things all day. These are not expensive platforms. I mean, you can get other versions that were, yes, worth more money and came with bigger engines. But realistically, for a guy my age today, in the world of expensive cars, especially even when things in the 2000s are starting to get up there, a good rear-wheel drive, reliable platform that's got dozens of muscle car parts, you know, that at least looks decent, it gets hard to find sometimes. Well, here we are. We have a 75 Dodge Dart Swinger, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So, ultimate immediate plans on this car, running and driving. We see it idles around the parking lot just fine. It drove on and off the trailer. The engine runs good. No issues with it. Tires are dry rot. Actually, that one over there, the tread's peeling. So that's not okay. Shocks may need to be replaced. We're going to let them go for a while. We're letting the whole suspension go. Transmission should be good. It wasn't rebuilt, but he put a shift kit in it, so it hits into gear really good. Did that for drag racing. The guy I got this from liked to run it down the drag strip. And I think he said it did 14s or 15s, something like that. Long tube headers on it. It's got 360 heads on it, and apparently big valve. To Mopar guys, it means something. To a guy like me that plays with British stuff, I have no idea what that means. For Chevy stuff, British and Chevy, that's kind of what I do. But now I'm getting to Mopar. It's got all that stuff in it, and then it also has some sort of cam. The guy couldn't remember the grind. I have no idea. I'm not pulling the engine apart to find out, but it sounds nice and lopey, so I'm happy with it. And you saw the 4-barrel Edelbrock air gap intake manifold on it. It's got a Edelbrock carburetor on it. I think it's a 650 or 750 CFM, one or the other. It's not massive. And it's got some drag race springs on the rear, so they are lower, and something about the spring rate is different on them, so that way it hooks better on a launch. I think that's it. That's all that's been done to the car outside of wheels and tires. Now, I am not a drag race guy. We probably will take this to the drag race just for the heck of it. I mean, why not? It sounds like fun. I'm kind of more of a road race guy. I would much rather be at a track. So what we're going to do is take this car. We're going to have some fun with it. We're going to start out by getting it reliable. I want this car to run and drive. I want to put tags and insurance on it. And I want to beat it to and from the shop in the track. That's the goal. And then we're going to take it on some basic track days, and we're going to start playing with it, and we might do some suspension upgrades, and I think I'm going to back half a cage in it just to be a little more safe, because knowing me, my self-preservation goes out the window when I start doing stupid stuff. So I kind of want to make sure I come home. My wife will kill me if I die while I'm on the track, and I'm more scared of her killing me than the car. So we're going to make sure it's safe. We're going to do some basic upgrades on it so we can take it on some track days and do some driving around and just have a ball with it. And what will become after that, I have no idea. I have so few plans for this outside of make it drive, take it to the track, and just beat it around. I mean, this thing might get fully caged to run an American sedan class. This thing might, I don't know, might become a drag race machine. It just might stay like this with a different paint job. I really don't know. Usually when I look at a car, I'm like, yeah, I got plans. And this one, I'm like, I don't know, let's drive it and maybe take it to the track and have a hoot and holler. And that's all the further my brain went. I got to pull that headliner out. It's touching my head every time I sit in the car, and you can see where mice have gotten in it, and it's kind of nasty. I found a mouse in my truck a while ago, and I think that's where it came from. Share that of the bird seed in the shed. And I am sourcing some tires for it, so that way I can drive it around. And we're going to just go from there. Maybe we'll build this car over a series of shorts rather than do an actual tube series on it, unless we do something crazy. And it needs freeze plugs. Alright, let's try this. This is gonna suck. just as a whole. Oh, that mouse house. Well, there we go. I think that's it. Honestly, I expected that to be worse. Yeah, no, I expected that to be a lot worse than it was. Okay. I think we'll just take the dome light out for now. Maybe just for now, we'll take the dome light out. We really don't need it. Yeah, the visors are in good shape. We'll leave them. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's cut this up, throw it out, sand the roof, and paint it. You know, just with a rattle can, just to preserve it so it doesn't rot anymore. You see all this moisture, that means it's going to rot from both sides instead of just the top. And I know the top, especially you can see in there, is already starting to give me problems. So let's make that less of a problem. Let's go ahead and get all the trash out of here too and load it up. There we go. Technically not so bad to get out of. I should own more cars from this era. They're just easier, better. Now that all that's out of the way, let's sit in it and see how this feels. I think next thing's next, guys. Let's get the sander out and the DA. and we'll hit all this, at least the worst of it, mostly on the roof and right here. We'll sand all of it down real quick and pull this out of it. It's a rattle can up there on the roof just to preserve it. And we'll see about maybe doing something with the floor. It's looking a little crunchy. Munchy crunchy. It's fairly solid though. Ta-da! Now, if you're looking at going like, hey, that's an ugly R&B green, well, you might be right. There we go. Yeah, that's that can there is kind of one of the few things that I had. So, my roof is now that color. Yay. Light on. Okay. Okay. Oh, there we go. That hole right there. This. Yeah, that's where the plug goes. I gotta get it up in there. So I'm gonna actually clean the hole with some sandpaper. And then after I clean it out, I'm gonna run me some silicone on it and knock the plug up in there. And I gotta get it to seat as square as I can, so this ought to get interesting. Alright, camera's back between the chest because up here it captured sound really good, but it also like got bumped a lot and made all kinds of weird noises, didn't capture the sound like it should have. I'm working on it, alright? I'm working on it. Maybe get a new microphone in the near future. Maybe. We'll see. If you like and subscribe though, I might be able to get one sooner. I've done some work to this since the last scene that you've seen. For me, it's been like 3 days, but I managed to pop a freeze plug in it and look. Look. Oh, where'd my water go? Well, it doesn't look like it ran down the block. I think it just needs topped off. We're gonna find out right now, actually. Dadgummit. I thought I had it. I thought I had it, apparently not. Oh, it doesn't seem like it needed much. Why is it still going? Whoa! There's a grape in there. And I still had water in it. So I think what that was about. Yeah, I think all that was is there was the I think it was from when I was running it before and it finally pumped all the air out of it. I think that's what it is. At least that's what it's behaving like. So when I checked it yesterday, it didn't leak a single drop. But then I ran it yesterday. I actually putted it around a little bit and let it run for, I don't know, 40 minutes? Something like that, grand total. I'm not surprised that it's cycled, but it's not going down now. So it shouldn't have any leaks. We'll find out. But I managed to fix the freeze plug. I got one knocked in there. I did put 4 tires on the car. Believe it or not, I went on Facebook and I found me 4 tires, 2 matching sets. They're a little smaller than what was on it before, but it's whatever. It's whatever's going to work, right? And they're on the car, and I think it's about ready to go, honestly. It's little things from here, like, the windshield wipers still don't work. I need to do something about the turn signals because they don't quite work. The taillights work. The hazards work, but the turn signal switch is a little wonky. It's things like that. Oh, and it needs a battery hold down. So I'll probably do a battery hold down today. We're going to get the fuel system hooked back up so it starts pulling from the tank. And then after that, we're going to kind of fix it as we go, do little things here or there, and we'll keep filming and updated and everything on this one. This is just going to be a fun hot rod toy, and I'm looking forward to having fun with it. Looks like there's a grape in there. Let me get that out. Check it. That was in my radiator. It needs a water temp gauge. I put a water temp. I got one real cheap, cheesy. We're just going to put it in, run it through the dash, and mount it somewhere where I can look at it. And we're going to see if it runs and if it overheats. I got a couple gallons of fuel in her. And as long as it doesn't overheat, we're going to tag and title this today. And we're going to go drive around just a little bit. And maybe we'll do a road trip here in another week or two. Just a quick little one. Without further ado, first things first, let's do a battery hold down. Now, I got one side on this thing. So this one goes in here. That'll hold, but this is too tall. It actually smacks that. My other side is down there. First off, let's see if we can get this battery to fit a little better. Oh, There's the other one. And the wing nut. Cool. And I thought this was going to be a problem today. Cool, since I have both of them, I'll just grab this. Probably use a better pair, but whatever. I don't care. This is a hot rod, a toy. It was cobbled together when I bought it, okay? When I got it, actually. I didn't buy this one. I end up having as much fun with this car as I've had with other ones in the past. We're going to have some good content. There we go. So I got that picked up. Got that seated in there. I do need to loosen those and get them on there proper. Not just, I can. Man, I was going to have to get the wrenches out. Still have to separate it, so. Probably not out of the woods yet. That one goes there, and this one goes somewhere down here. There. Ain't quite right. Hold on. Are these backwards? Oh, heck, I think they are. I think we just solved our bonnet clearance issue here. Oh, it almost fits. Come on. You know you want to fit. I know I want you to fit. There we go. That's one side, and that's the other. Cool. Yes. Look at that. You know, I don't even remember this being in there. So it's super convenient that today we just so happened to find it where it's supposed to be. Now the battery's in. I don't have to worry about it reaching up and sparking on the bonnet. Cool. I like that. Oh, he's got roll control on this thing. Why do I have two Mopar ignition boxes? Considering the MSD's hooked up, I don't think either of them are wired in. I'll just get a hammer and beat them on. This battery's going to live in here now. Let's just do that. Let's just get a hammer. Let's just... I think that's seated. And that one's seated. There we go. As I'm hammering, I'm watching these spread back out, which is good. Just tighten them back up. Already on there pretty snug, so we don't need to be crazy about it. Besides, it's just clamping on the lead. Lead is a very soft metal, so you don't need to go crazy on it. It needs to be tight enough. Kind of like that. Nice. That's done. That didn't leak down much. I'm going to get a flashlight and check that out over there and make sure it's not leaking out of that freeze plug. Alright, so I had to step away a bit and let you old officer look at this and tell me my title was clear and match my VIN code. So, no, that's done. Titled the car. Make sure these aren't leaking, because I'm still leaking. I have a suspicion. Oh, nothing. Woof. Everything. Every engine I currently own. Beat it or I will stab you. Has blown a head gasket now. It's not coming out the exhaust. The guy did tell me that this thing had a very slow leak and he didn't know where it went. And I think I found out. Going right past the head gaskets into my block. Milkshake. Milkshake the motor. Well, I don't see why that changes putting in a temp gauge. All right, we'll go ahead and put the temp gauge on it. We will get the fuel system ready for when I hook it all back up. And yeah, I guess that's what we're going to do. We're just going to get the fuel system ready. Go ahead and put our filter on it. We'll put our little $25 water temperature gauge in it. So that way, if it overheats after we do head gaskets, we can actually monitor that. Dagnabbit. All right. Okay. Okay. It just be like it is and it do, and it do like that. I need to get that out of there. Luckily, I got tools for this. Alright, now my goal is to do this without having to resort to using the torch. Because that's a real possibility here. Doesn't quite fit in there perfect. Oh, it comes right out. Whew! That was a disaster we just avoided. Now, we should get water everywhere. Oh God. We don't have coolants going everywhere. That's concerning. Because we should. Wow. Wow. Means this all in there. It's just always how it goes. It ain't one thing, it's another 10. This is all going to have to come back off. We're not going to go crazy with tightening it. Snug it up a little bit. All right, let me feed this gauge through. I put a hole in the firewall just for this. I think I want to run it back here. Out of the way. You know, instead of just across, I keep it half decent. It look like I sort of care. Because, you know, if something happened, I might actually end up caring. Let's just treat it like I already do. I found the whole bag of zip ties. Okay. That's just going to be the theme for this car. It's not nice, but it works. It might be. I don't know yet. Just don't know what I'm doing with this thing. Right now, I'm just making it run. We'll figure what we're doing from there. Okay, now we need to go to the inside. Okay, now before we go mounting this thing, we should sit. Why? Why does that matter? Okay, well, putting in an instrument, a very important instrument, it's important that I be able to look at it and see. I need to be able to read it, so it's got to be somewhere I can see it, but also it's limited in length here. So that's going to definitely cause a problem. Don't want to be kicking it every time I get in and out of the car. I got that to think of too. So I think if I put it right here, and still, you know, if I ever get that fixed, I can reach in and grab that. I can always put this up here out of the way so I'm not snagging it. Yeah, that'll do. It's not in the best place, but it's where I can see it. Yeah, and I can read the numbers easy. Not as nice if I was just staring right at it, but this will work. Maybe one day we'll do something different with the dashboard. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of this whole dash setup. What is this, a cover? Oh, it is a cover. We're going to leave that on. We're going to leave the plastic cover on here. I just feel like this whole thing needs to be different. I also feel like the wheel needs to be just a hair wider. I don't like them narrow. I like them widened out. Maybe later. Maybe later. Right now we're just trying to get her together. So let's go ahead and commit to putting it right there. Really not having a good day now that engine's been milkshaked. Like, dagnabbit. I thought I had something that was nice. And these are the wrong self-tappers. Alright. I don't think there's a way for me to do this without blocking your view, so here we go. Got one there. No, come back, Sarah. There we go. It's in there well enough. There we go. Now, hop on in here and see how that does. Well, I didn't hit it right away. I'll call that a win. I gotta look out of my way to see it, but I guess once you get to a point you trust it, then you just let it go. Well, everybody, I think that's going to be about all the more I can do on this thing for now. We've put the battery hold down back on. Managed to... Here, which way this goes? There we go. Did the battery hold down. Oh, that's right. We still got to do the fuel. What am I doing? I almost cut this off early. How dare I? We got a temp gauge in it. We got the battery hooked up proper. It's actually strapped down so it won't go nowhere. We've discovered that we've milkshaked the hell out of the engine. So now it's all left to do is fuel filter. It's not like it's hard to do. Take a bye. Won't take us long. Won't even take us a couple minutes. Really only need 2 of these. So down here on the tank side, I put a new line on it going to the tank. But then I cut it because I'm feeding it out of this temporary tank here. I wanted to do that until I got another filter on it. I wanted the double filter. It's got one after the pump, but also want one on it before the pump. I use some gasoline here to lubricate the end of this. This helps it slide easier. There we go. Even not going the right way. It says 2 carb from me. Now when we actually go to take this somewhere to fill up the tank, we'll actually end up strapping all of this over here to the side out of the way with some zip ties. Alright, all it's left to do is to clean up and order parts. You never get off easy, can you? All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Got more content coming out. Sorry for the big delay that was somewhere in the middle there, but had a lot of other stuff going on at the time, and it just pulled me away from the shop. Back in the shop, actually going to be able to get some stuff done. So keep an eye out. Make sure you hit that little bell button. It's down there, trust me. And that way you know every time something gets uploaded. Get out there, fix something, have fun. I'll see you soon.